All right, so let me do this. I want to spend a few minutes. I want to welcome you guys here tonight. Like I was saying before, we are truly, truly, truly blessed, right? And that's the only word that I can use to describe what we're experiencing right now. Right? We have the opportunity to be trained by somebody who is not just a giant in our company, who hasn't just created phenomenal impact and income in our company. She's done it in our industry, guys. It's a $171 billion industry, and who I have before you here is at the top of that industry. Okay, so but first, let me introduce you to my beautiful, beautiful business partner, the woman who enrolled me in Isagenix. Her name is Patty Cepeda. Patty is a proud wife. She's mother of 5. Yeah, I said it. 5 amazing kids. You know, Patty, along with her husband, Herb, are the #1 platinum business center across the globe in Isagenix, okay? And having earned more than $20 million since they joined Isagenix in 2008, Patty, Herb, and their family just enjoy a life of financial freedom. But I'm going to tell you, that wasn't always the case for the Cepedas. You know, before Isagenix, Patty and Herb were broke and they were over $160,000 in debt. And they knew that that wasn't what God wanted for their family. So they kept believing even when things looked bleak. And then in 2008, they were presented with something that completely changed the trajectory of their lives. Isagenix. You know, and Patty had a very tight schedule when she started. She was homeschooling 5 kids, managing 60 coaching clients. However, with the little time she did have, she used it wisely. And she began earning money in the compensation plan immediately. Guys, when I say immediately, I mean 9 months, $5,000 a week, you guys, a week. And immediately, she replaced their incomes within a year, affording them the ability to work Isagenix full time. Now, again, because they're servant leader, their God-inspired phrase, "Who can I help today?" became the driving force of their business. And Patty shares that it has set them totally, totally free. And this other focused way of living life at home and in business is very rewarding and inspiring, and has led to them creating several dozen 6-figure income earners, and actually a number of 7-figure annual income earners on their personal team. And they are the 15th highest earning network marketer in the entire world. And they are truly some of the most generous, some of the most heartfelt, some of the most beautiful people that I've ever met. So guys, I want you to please allow me to talk about the idea of urgency and the power and the profitability that comes with doing this business with urgency. My mentor, Miss Patty Cepeda.
Yeah, thank you, Cece. Welcome, everybody. Let me know. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
More fired up and I get going. I get louder and louder and louder. I do get more excited as I go. It's God made me that way. I'm a very excitable person. But again, what Cece said is so right on. You know, it did take us 10 months to get to $5,000 a week income. We were $160,000 in credit card debt when we were introduced to this. And there's a righteous reason we were there. So I won't get into that tonight, but there's a reason we were there, standing for righteousness. But I'll tell you, I know what it's all about. My husband and I have been together since 1982. And I'll tell you what, we know what it's like to do very well. We know what it's like also to not do so well. We know what it's like for the bill collectors to ring our phone, ringa, ringa, for those old timers. You know that song. I shouldn't be singing, but I'm singing. And so we know what it's like to not have. We know what it's like to have. And I just thank God every day for this industry, because I thought we were going to get into training. I'll just tell you a little bit briefing on my background due to the fact that we probably have a few guests on here. I just found that out, and that's great. I want to welcome you, but then I want to just tell you, you're going to be like a fly on the wall for a little bit of a training. I know that people like that anyway, because you're actually getting the inside little trick, secret, if you will, of how we do what we do, why this is so urgent. But my background, I have a master's. I was getting a master's in special education. Subsequently got an honorary doctorate in education. My husband was a New York State trooper. We thought we were going to do that for the next 40 years. Thank God somebody told us about this great industry, and I was very skeptical. It was another state trooper. He was talking about people that were making a lot of money and had a lot of freedom. And I thought, that sounds too good to be true, but what if? The guy was making millions a year, he said, and he would take our phone call. It didn't make a lick of sense to me at all, but yeah, something inside of me was, what if, what if, what if? What if it's true when I don't look into it? And as I looked into it, I got the nerve to call him and was able to, he invited us down to his home. We were able to meet with him personally, a guy who was making millions a year with a company and was living in a big spread, but that's not what impressed me personally. What impressed me was he said, I'm able to wake up with my wife, my best friend, and we have breakfast together every morning. And we're able to do what we want, when we want, with whom we want, as much as we want, and not have to worry about money. I don't know about you, but something inside of me was saying, I have to have that. And so, and even if you're skeptical when you hear that, I was standing in the evidence of the fact that this was one of his homes. And I just remember later that day telling him, said, you know what, Richard, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I meant it. I was willing to do anything within the confines of, I love the Lord. I'm not going to lie, steal, cheat, or do anything stupid. But I knew I was going to work hard for the next 40 years. And this was something that he was saying that most people start on a part-time basis with the potential as they start to match or replace their full-time incomes. That's when they consider it full-time. So it didn't sound threatening. It didn't sound like anything that was going to jeopardize anything I was doing. And the same holds true for all of you that are listening here tonight. You have the opportunity with Isagenix, the name of the company, to really position yourself at a point in time when the company is starving for leadership. We did almost $1 billion last year, but no one knows about us. It's amazing. And what company's doing is starving for leadership. We're looking for people who really have had it. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're sick and tired of having more week left at the end of their paycheck. They're sick and tired of working so hard but being so underappreciated and underpaid. So usually if we were in person, I'd say who falls into that category, and everybody's laughing, giggling, and agreeing that that's them. And so this is an opportunity where you can do something, like I said, part-time, that'll start to match or replace your full-time income, and then you can consider it full-time. Some people come in for this reason. They want to hear about the money. We were introduced to Isagenix, and I saw the big picture with the overall. So we had set up criteria a company had to rank a 10 in every of the criteria in order for us to get involved with a company like this again. And the first was company stability, that we are. The owners understand the industry. We have a product line, number 2, that's consumable, unique as a bonus factor, emotional as a home run. We have people that look different within days. They feel different within days. And then thirdly is the compensation plan. It needs to be lucrative. It needs to be simple. You will not believe how lucrative this compensation plan is. It's absolutely, you can put a price tag on what you want to earn, and the way that they have it all laid out for people to make money is extremely simple to do. Anybody can do it, but will everybody do it? No, it's not what happens. The fourth criteria is training and support, which we have that covered because we do training calls. As Cece was introing this call, she was explaining, how we had a coaching business. We were working with people to teach them generically because we couldn't find a company we put our name to. Quite honestly, before Isagenix, I had lost hope that I would ever see a company we put our name to again. Because we literally have seen thousands of these companies. And I just want you to know the thousands of these types of companies that start up every year and fail. You can count on the fingers of your hands how many companies that have grown to $1 billion a year or more and sustain that. Isagenix is the next multi-billion-dollar a year company. But anyway, that's timing. Timing is the fifth criteria. We've already created over 300 millionaires, people who've earned over $1 million. There's a lot of people earning millions a year, multiple millions, million a year, 7 figures, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures. It's just absolutely amazing that when we get together in a room and I ask for how many people are, using the program and have opened up their account, because it operates kind of similar to a Sam's Club or a Costco's or a BJ's, where you pay a membership fee, and that membership fee allows you to go into, for example, Sam's Club, so that you can buy at the wholesale price. It's a wholesale buy-in club with a brick and mortar store that you go into. Here is no different. It's a $39 annual fee, and you're able to, instead of going to a store, a brick and mortar store, it's an online store. And we're working with Health and Wellness for a full body nutritional cleansing, fat burning, and replenishment program. Not a bowel movement cleanse. People hear cleanse and they think they're going to be pooping all day. It's not that. But we have people who look different. They feel better. We have better mental clarity, better energy, better sleep patterns, immunity through the roof. We can get together with thousands of people that are in our company and in our business. And you never hear anybody sneezing or coughing. As a matter of fact, I always say it's almost like a UFO comes into the area, drops off the healthiest looking people you can imagine, and they're all together in one place. It's amazing what this program's doing for people's health. And then one of the very emotional things, besides those things, because that is emotional, but also people are losing, as a side benefit, because we're not a weight loss program, 5 to 20 pounds of fat in their first couple weeks without dieting, eating normal food. So I always say, how many people fall in that category? You're interested in it from that perspective. Others are interested in the business. And so what happens is, you have a combination of people interested in both. We could never cover it all in this one Zoom call or one gathering, or we could be here for weeks talking about all this stuff. But the truth is we'll cover as much as we can, and the person who invited you to the Zoom, you can get back to them. They'll answer any questions that you might have. But I'll tell you, the program, this is the highest quality, most absorbable nutritional on the face of the planet, coupled with a very necessary element of cellular cleansing. And I know that sounds extremely biased because I represent, right? I'm representing the company, but I challenge you to go out and find something that's better, and I'll stop saying that. And I've been saying that for years. There isn't anything out there that even comes close to the efficacy and quality. There's no there's no hydrogenated oils, there's no high fructose corn syrup, there's no fake sugars, there's no soy, there's no corn, there's no genetically modified, no artificial sweeteners. So we have a very clean product. It's almost like all of the good and none of the bad. But again, the program works. It's because it's not the miracle. Isagenix is not the miracle. It's the body that's the miracle. Because if we would just put our bodies into the proper environment for them to be the miracle, our bodies are designed to heal themselves, rejuvenate themselves, regenerate themselves, and protect themselves. And that's what they do. And this program just supports that. So anyway, without getting into a whole bunch of detail about all the products and how it's helping people lose body fat, which is measurable. We have a $5,000 body composition machine where we're watching people drop 4 percentage points in body fat in their first 2 weeks without dieting. Guys, we had that machine a dozen years prior to getting involved with Isagenix. We had never seen people drop that kind of body fat that fast. And it's because we're addressing toxicity at the cellular level. As a matter of fact, Dr. Paul Arciero was an independent scientist and researcher out of Skidmore College in New York. He was hired as an independent scientist and researcher to see what they were asking him to investigate was, does this program affect visceral fat? That's the fat, for those that don't know, that you would find around, let's say, a world-class 4 percentage point body fat person, world-class athlete, gets an injury, gets put into an MRI machine, and you see halos around internal organs. That's visceral fat. I had somebody say to me today, visceral fat is when you have your internal organs, then you have fat, then you have muscle, and it's hard for your, it's just underneath. It's in by your internal organs. It's the dangerous type of fat. And so this Dr. Paul Sierra, the independent scientist and researcher, didn't think it would have any effect. He's kind of snickered and thought it was, comical, that we were insinuating, he thought. Here he is, he's on the heart healthy diet, he's all over on the boards, everybody knows him, right? He's done so much, but he thinks that we're full of donkey dust, as my mom would say, right? But one thing that turned his head is these companies that when he was hired as an independent scientist and researcher to produce or come out with something, whatever it was that they asked them to investigate, the companies have what's called a first right of refusal. Track with me because this is impressive. And so Dr. Paul, was very impressed because all companies sign that. What it means is that if the research that they're hiring him to do produces anything contrary to what that company would want in every university in the world, then they have just that, the first right of refusal, not to let it go out. He was head turning. Isagenix never signed it. We didn't even we knew it affected visceral fat. And so anyway, long story short, he's a major advocate today. He went on and he compares it to all the healthy diets and all the other stuff out there. So the research is there. The more you look into this, that's why people look different within days, feel different within days. I heard a different doctor say it once, every time you take one of these shakes, it's like every cell in your body says, thank you. It's a different form of putting shake powder, for example, into process. It's not pasteurized where you're baking everything out. The highest grade of whey protein, for example, and you have a vegan line as well. So it's not the stuff that you would get at the Walmart, which is like cattle feed, for pennies on the dollar. So it's really something that's completely different. And that's the reason you look different, you feel different. Another measurable thing besides body fat dropping is we watch and you can get this at any grocery store, the alkalinity. There's little dipsticks to measure saliva or urine. Urine's always more accurate. But you measure that and we're watching that increase. This is all very positive. And I know I'm kind of skimming over a lot of things. It increases your basal metabolic rate because it's allowing the body to maintain and build muscle while at the same time removing fat because it's addressing toxicity. So that's another whole arena that I can get into. But for the sake of time, I just want you to know it's an amazing program, and the fastest way to find out about it is put it in your body. So how do we get it to the market? Here we have people that are dropping 5 to 20 pounds of fat in the first couple of weeks without dieting. Their pants are falling off, clothes are, it's amazing. We have people that feel so much better and so on that they can't shut up about it. And what happens is you start to share this. That's what the company pays us for. We're basically the marketing arm for the company. Imagine if you were the first person, for example, of all your friends, they never heard of Uber, for example, and you introduced them to Uber, but you didn't know it. You were going to get a little piece of the action every time they used an Uber or they shared the concept with other people. If there was a way that they were tracking it via computer system. As a matter of fact, Uber is on the map now because of word of mouth. That's how it got out there. Same with Facebook, for example. Imagine getting a little piece of the action. That's what this is. We're actually sharing this. You can't be quiet about it. We're not selling anything. We're simply you can certainly go to the website of the person who invited you to this call, and you can buy it retail. And what the company would do is send the wholesale to retail markup to the person who told you about it. Or I always say, why not go there and open up your own account for $39 annual fee, buy the products at wholesale like I'm doing. So it's basically we're paid to help set people up with their accounts. But yet you can't control this. People tell people. We have a 100-pound club, a 200, 300-pound club. We're not even a weight loss program. This is the side benefit to cellular cleansing at the cellular level. It's unreal. So all of that said, now we put it into a compensation. And what's happening is we like to set people up for success. So remember, contrary to what you would spend if you were to open your own business or if you decided to go to school and get an MBA, you'd put out hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. If you wanted to have a franchise at McDonald's, or you'd put out hundreds, many times hundreds of thousands or even $1 million to get the franchise rights. Here is not like that. You actually, if we were together in a room and I asked for a show of hands of who owns their own business, quite a few hands will go up, but I always have to say is, do you own the business or does the business own you? And they always giggle because the business owns them. You've actually, if you purchase a franchise, you may have a better success rate because 80% of most small businesses fail in the first couple of years. 1 in 1,000 make it 5 years. Franchises have a better than 97% success rate because of proven methods handed down. So, but still, you're still in business for yourself. So let's say you got a McDonald's. Not that I recommend that to be eating at McDonald's. If you haven't seen the movie Super Size Me, go ahead and take a peek at that just to keep yourself healthy. But if you did and you had employees and Fed FICA and all the headaches of owning your own business, if one of your employees didn't come to work, guess who'd be in there making French fries? You. And that's why I'm saying it doesn't really, I come from a family of business owners, so I'm speaking from experience. This is like mini franchising, but you can take, it's like J. Paul Getty was one of America's first billionaires. He said it best. He said, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 men than 100% of my own efforts. And that's what this is. If I always say, if I could give you a pill and you could know everything about everything I'm saying about the efficacy of the products, about the compensation plan, about the company, about the owners, if I could give you that little magic pill that you could just drink with a glass of water, everything about how they're paying us, you would go through brick walls. I don't think you'd sleep tonight. And I always say the program helps people sleep so much better until you get it. Once you get it and you realize that this is the next multi-billion-dollar-a-year company. We've already had over 300 people create and earn over $1 million. We are going to more than double that in the next couple 24, 36 months, where we're going to start to see, and we're going to see that many more people earn that type of money. But who is it going to be? See, it's going to happen with or without you and with or without me. I'm choosing to get involved, and we're teaching you exactly the step-by-steps. So all that to say, we like to start people with a package of products. So if you're here just to hear about the program and how to get healthy and maybe lose body fat and feel better energy and better mental clarity and all of that, you don't have to be interested in the business, and you don't have to tell anybody. Matter of fact, I did say that to our neighbor. She came and she had most of her large intestines removed, and she has no colon. And she got on the program, so she has severe discomfort that resulted in, she almost lost her life 12 years before we even met her. We moved down to the south and met her. And this had happened before we knew her. But she got on the program, and she said when she was getting on it, I'm not telling anybody about it. And I said, Jessica, don't. Many of you know Jessica Johnson. You'll hear her on the calls. I said, don't tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody. But what happened was she was on a whole bunch of different support groups on social media because of her problem and her issues, right? And so what happened, she couldn't keep her mouth shut. How she felt so fantastic that she started sharing it on social media. And she made over $1 million in 2.5 years. She's currently making a 7-figure, over $1 million a year on a residual basis, which, understand the difference between linear and residual. Linear is you have to put in your own personal efforts to create. If you're a hairdresser, or if you're a veterinarian or a doctor, how many clients can you see and make the exchange of your time for money in a day, in a week? How many times can you do that? Make the exchange of your time for money. And can you make the exchange of time for money enough times to create wealth? And that's where, again, it requires your own personal efforts to create. Try not showing up at work and see what happens, right? It's not like you're going to continue to get paid. Residual income is more like something that repeats itself. You wrote a book one time and you continue to get the residuals. That's what's going on here. You build a business one time and you're getting the residual income because other people are also ordering. They're feeling phenomenal on the program. They're ordering, reordering, and so on. So it's a little bit different. No, it's not a little bit different. It's a big difference, and that's what drove me. That's why I was very open to this type of marketing. It's not multi-level marketing because we're not paid on levels or generations. We are paid to infinity. So no matter who tells who to help who, it's teams of people. You have 2 teams of people, and you are paid based on volumes that go through your word of mouth, who you told, who they told, and so on and so forth. I'm going to draw that out for you in a second. But I want you to know that most people actually start with a package. I don't like sales. I hate sales. I love to educate. And we all do it. Like if you like something, we tell people. That's what this is. You know, you can't keep your mouth shut about the movie you saw or the restaurant you went to. But you're normally not paid for that, and it's not tracked. Here it is tracked. And I have a big mouth when I like something. I don't know about you. Anybody have a big mouth? Because if you have a big mouth, you can make a lot of money here. Because they've taken the multi-billion-dollar advertising budget and put it back in, or dollar advertising budget that companies have. They put it back into the distribution force, us for spreading the news. I mean, think of Uber. Imagine if you were the one that all networked from, and look how big Uber is today. Network marketing is huge. It's a multi-trillion. I mean, we are into something that's bigger than the NFL, NBA, all of them combined, the volumes of program products and services that go through this form of marketing. So because I hate sales, I needed to try one of everything the company had to offer. Now, I want to remind you, my husband and I were $160,000 in credit card debt. So I had no business doing what I'm about to tell you I did, but I looked at the whole picture. The company was stable and all the criteria were in place. And the thing that was the questionable thing, which I wanted to look into, is if the products do what they look like they're going to do, saying that they do, and I'm seeing before and after pictures, but you can actually go see the before and after pictures. But if they do what they say they're going to do and they taste good, forget about it. This is going to be a home run. So I ordered one of every product that the company had to offer. And the order came to approximately $1,400. So my husband Herb hit the ceiling with that order. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm thinking, what's a little bit more on the credit card? It's just a little bit more on the credit card because I cannot talk about something I don't believe in. And so I told him, I said, chill. I said, because if it doesn't work and it doesn't taste good, I'm sending it all back, and it's money back guaranteed. So it all came in, and sure enough, tasted good. I took a couple bottles of Cleanse. I was coaching, and I do coach basketball. I keep involved with our 5 children that way, and they played, and I coached the basketball tournament by New York City, drank 2 bottles of Cleanse. Don't take notes. This isn't how you do it. But I didn't want to ask questions of the coaching client that told us about this because I didn't want to let on that I was getting excited. And as you can see, I'm excitable. So I came home after drinking 2 bottles of Cleanse in 2 days, and I looked at my husband and I said, we're going to make millions with this, because I couldn't believe how I felt. I didn't get on a scale. I didn't take out a measuring tape, nothing. I felt phenomenal. And that's when he said, I want to do it too. We decided to read a few things. And in the next 2-week time frame, we both dropped 4 percentage points in body fat, doing this all wrong, because there's no wrong or right way. It's not a diet. It's actually the opposite of a diet. This is actually putting more nutrition in your body than your body is used to, where dieting deprives your body. It's totally not a diet. And we couldn't believe how we felt. It was absolutely amazing. My husband went from a 36-inch waist to a 32-inch waist. I got my mother to use the program. She took off 37 inches off her body at 84 years old. Her heart doctor said, whatever you're doing, keep doing. She went on to lose 40 pounds. And of course, her medical doctor wanted her to bring it to her. She got on the program, lost 35 pounds, started recommending it to her patients. And this is just what started to happen. Everyone looked different. Everybody felt different. And it just started to explode. There was no controlling it from there. That said, that big pack I started with, there is a simulation of a pack like that. It's called the Ultimate Pack. It's $10.99. It has practically everything the company has to offer in it, and it's a great pack to start with. There's another pack called a Value Pack, which is, help me out, CC, is it $5.89, right? I always lose track. That's the one I like to bring people in with, the $5.89. And then there's the basic pack, which is $279. The basic pack, and you can get all this in writing, you have to remember all this, but I want you to stay with me for the concept. The basic pack has 64 meal replacements, everything you need to get on the program to do your cleanse, your snacks, your accelerator that helps stimulate your metabolism naturally, your flush to help you keep you regular. Everything's all natural. There's no laxatives or diuretics in this whatsoever. Very holistic. And of course, you have everything in there to have success. You do have to pay your $39 fee with that pack. The other two packs waive that fee. So and just put it in perspective, the basic pack fits inside the middle pack. The middle pack fits inside the big pack, the ultimate pack. All that to say, my favorite pack, to be quite honest, I feel like it duplicates nicely and easily, is the middle pack, the value pack. My husband loves the ultimate pack because it gets people a lot more product. But I love the value pack, and I want to just share with you a way that the company, and I'm going to talk about this, so now I'm going to go into a little bit more training. So I've shared a lot about different things and kind of the overview of how the program works. But I want you to know that the ultimate pack, or when we started, I should say, there was no upfront money. There was no product introductory bonus. There was no advancement or rank advancement bonuses. I'm going to talk to you for just a minute, because what excited us wasn't that anyway. It wasn't there. What excited us was the residual end of this compensation plan. What would set me free so I could wake up with my husband, my best friend, who we were working opposite shifts. He was chasing bad guys for a living, so it was dangerous to top it off. He had different days off than I did and all of that. So I was very driven about this industry when we started in this industry. And I'll tell you something, this is the greatest industry in the world. If you love people and helping people, and you keep the focus, as CC had started this broadcast, on other people. So let me just share with you the upfront money so you can see, because some people think, man, it's a lot. Now understand, I'm not your accountant, but it's a write-off. You go starting a new business venture, you can write the whole thing off, but check with your accountant. Remember, I'm not your accountant, but I've been doing it for a long time. But you start with your business, and then you have monthly, you're going to keep the product in your body. So now you have monthly orders of a sustenance. You're actually replacing meals. You're going to eat normal food, but you're replacing meals, so you're going to eat your inventory and write that off. I'm not your accountant. Check with your accountant, but I'll tell you what, that excites me. I don't know about you. It's very exciting. Let's talk about how you can make the money here, because and I hope that you can see this okay. I was going to do it some other cool way, but we're going to start. You can see it, right? That's it. There we go. You see the big happy person? That's you. You're happy because you're on the program. You have better energy, better mental clarity. You're sleeping better, and maybe you lost 5 to 20 pounds in 2 weeks. So you're all fired up. But guess what? This can happen today. As a matter of fact, I called my mom when I was introduced to this, and I said, Mom, I found this product. I want you to try it. Oh, hey, dear, hold on. I'm going to get my credit card. That was one. My husband was 2. My other sister, one sister was like this, not interested in that kind of thing. Forget about it. And that's the one that made over $1 million, by the way. In the end, she came involved and got involved. But the other sister that supports everything I do, Carol, she opened her, oh, sure, hold on a second. I mean, to become what's called a consultant, when you get 2 people, when you help 2 people open their accounts, you're called a consultant. But I want to talk to you about that. So remember, you came in with the value back at $589, and you come in and you introduce somebody over here who comes in with the same value pack. The company rewards you $100. And if you introduce another person over here with that value pack, the company rewards you $100. But if you do it within the same calendar week, what the company does is they take that and they double it. So instead of $100, they make it $200. So 200 and 200, I'm going to put them over here. It's $200 and $200. And because you introduce 2 people, it's called a rank advancement called consultant. So this is called a product introductory bonus. And then to get 2 people like that, 1 on each team, there's 2 teams, a left team and a right team. You're called a consultant, and the company pays you $150. It's nuts, okay? And then what happens is You know, maybe this person says, you did what? You just made how much? $550? You're making back the money practically on what you started your business with. I want to do that. Great. Do you know 2 people? Because we found that people who do this with other people have better results anyway. Sure. I know my friend Mary wants to do it, and my husband will do it too. Let's say, right? So now this person got 2 people, and this person says the same thing. They say, oh my goodness, I want to do that. I want to make that type of money. So they go get 2 people. So you plus 2 people brought you the consultant, and then them plus their 2 people brought you to another rank advancement called manager. Manager, you plus 2, them plus 2, gives you another $250. Plus, the company rewards you another $100 for each of these guys because they got their 2. So that's another 100 and another 100 because you produced 2 consultants. They pay you $100 for every consultant you get. I'm not going to go any further than this because it gets even crazier, the money that's available. But you just made, hold on, help me out. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You just made $1,000 as fast as tonight if you wanted to. And this is no joke. I'm not just making this up. This pays out. And guess what? They can each do the same thing. If it just went on like that, you plus 2, them plus 2 forever and for, you know, so on and so on, you would have a maxed out center. They'll pay you up to 250 cycles. It's just, I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's just they pay us out for every certain amount of volume that they find in a specific 2/3, 1/3 binary is what this is called. I'll talk about this in a minute. So just hang with me. But they'll pay you out up to 250 of those payouts, both cycles. And that equates to over $13,500 a week. Guys, I don't know about you. I get so excited. I'm going to, Cece, I want to offer people opportunity as we go. So if you're new and you're listening, great, hang with us. You're welcome to ask questions too. But I really want to, now I'm training. I'm going into training. I'm going to teach you how we teach to build and why I get so excited. Because this is all upfront money. Remember, it wasn't here when we got in.
So I'm going to say this while you're drinking that, Patty. So anybody, guys, if you have questions, either one, raise your hand, because I'm looking, I can see you, or you can put your question in the chat box below, and then I can ask questions of Patty. But Patty, yes, this, like, I'm on fire. Listen, guys, I've been doing this for 4 years, and yet I still get excited because of the possibility that exists for everybody else. So Patty, keep going.
Yeah, and I want to say that what I just shared with you on the board wasn't even there. And so I never talked about it when we started. It wasn't even there, right? This is some new stuff. But this is why I wanted to talk to you tonight. I have Denise, a friend of mine from New York. She was on the line here. She used to see us do this. So there was none of this upfront money. There was no earn $1,000. It was like, so what I'm about to tell you is going to blow you away. Because that's why when Cece says we got to $5,000 a week income in 10 months, that was on the residual end. That's what sets you free. And that's what motivates me. I'm not motivated about money or things. I mean, the Lord blesses, and I'm thank God every day because our children know my husband as well as they know me because of this great industry. Otherwise, you know, you're dropping your kids. A daycare. I'm going to tell you what, when I met him at 18 in college, freshman year, I remember telling him, because we were digging each other, I said, when we have kids one day, I said, I want you to know something. I would rather live in a tent and raise them myself than have somebody else raise them. I'm not having kids for other people to instill their values and their beliefs. I want to give them my own. And that's why I thank God that this is like such a gift. So let me talk about how we teach people to make money. So this is you. Now remember, it's kind of the same thing. You're happy. And then, of course, and if you came in, what happens is you'll go into your back office because you get a $35 million self-replicating website when you come into this. So you don't just get your little Sam's Club card. You're going to get a card. The card you're going to get, they're going to load money on your card. That money I just talked to you about, they're going to load it right on that card. So don't throw it out, because I've heard people throwing it out because it looks like a credit card solicitation coming, and you got to watch for that. There's money on it. Don't throw that out. But And when you get to $5,000 a week income, they'll put it directly into your bank account. That things change there, but so you do get that, and you get this $35 million self-replicating website. And in the back office of it, you can find what's called your placement tree, because this is a team building concept. So when you come in, you're going to go back there and you're going to see yourself in a box. Your name will be in the box, and maybe the arrow is pointing like this. It's going to either point that way or that way. And what that indicates is what direction, if you will, you came from. Where are the people that told you about it? Their position would be up here to the right in this case. Does that make sense? Stop me if you have a question. Because what happens is anytime they enroll somebody, we're all building one business at a time. So it's one person on top of one person on top of one person. So what we did was we came in and we said, let's put Herb over here. So we put a spouse over there on the, what we call the focus leg. And I'm going to explain this. If you hang with me, and I just want you to understand, you may not hang with me 100%. When Herb and I learned this comp plan, and we had seen thousands of comp plans, we were high-fiving each other at meetings, subsequent meetings, and week after week, because we were learning new stuff about this. So the more times you see this, the better it's going to make sense for you. And if you totally feel lost this time through, the next time through, you won't. And the next time Cece does it, you're going to get it. And the next, or Denise or somebody's going to do it. And you're, oh my goodness, Denise is amazing. It wasn't that Denise is amazing. I think she is. But the reason you got it the 15th time when Denise did it was because you needed to hear it maybe that many times, maybe just 3 times, maybe 5, maybe 20. I don't know. So I want you to just stay with me on this. This might be your first time through, but this is how we build. So we have a right team here. This would be the focus. Like I put Herb over here. I opened the account because I heard about it through the coaching client. And then what we did was we put the next 21 people down this leg. Now, so the first meeting, and the first meeting I had, I called personally over 80 people because I saw we had something here. Less than 20 showed up, and I had a couple people in already. It might have looked like that. But I put it up on the board and I said, okay, listen, I just want everybody to understand something. Everybody that's here, we have 2 teams. There's a right team and a left team. But I'm only focused on the left team. I'm not focused on the right team. Herb and I together are building this right-left team. We're not making the spouse position a consultant. That's why I'm drawing this out for you separate from the easy way to see it on the board, which was how I just drew it so you could see the upfront money. You could see the product introductory bonus. Everything was easy to read. This is a little bit different, but I'm going to speak to that in a second. Every time the company computer sees 900 points, in the order of 600 on one team and 300 points on the other. Now, what represents points? Well, every one of those value packs, I'll round it down, is worth 300 points. So if this is the value pack, it's 300 points. My goodness, it's not drawing. And then this person put in 300 points, and then maybe this person enrolled somebody over here. I'll go like this and darken it in, because that's 300 points, and this 300 points. So this is you plus 1 who got 2, right? But then you also enrolled this person here, and they decide they're going to enroll somebody over here and somebody over here. And guess what? That's you. So 1, it is a little sloppy here, I'm sorry to say. And this is 2, you plus 1, 2, and they each got 2, because we're building the left leg jointly. Does it make sense? I want to just slow down. I could actually be neater with this. But you plus those 2, them plus their 2, is manager on the left team. You can become a director on the left team. For those that are hanging with me, that's another, when you get 6 of those, it's $750. The only time you have to have anything over here is to become an executive. You need at least 5, and I would get at least 5. So you have to maintain that at the executive level. And 5 over here, that's when you would need 5 over here. But you can get 10 consultants over here. It doesn't matter. And because you want to make sure that you always have at least 5 solid consultants over here, because if we tell people, look, let me neaten this up. This looks really, really sloppy here. Let me just do this. let me just do this. Hold on. If we tell people, all right, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I said, because we put 21 people down this leg right off the bat, because at the first meeting, I remember saying at the meeting, listen, we're building just this left leg, so whoever is interested in opening their account, you're going on this left leg. And they started to quickly realize that, man, if I come in before the guy or gal I'm sitting next to, they'll be on my team. And why that's important, because I always tell people, look, you can wait and think about it, but this is prime real estate. This is exploding real estate, meaning it doesn't matter if you place them there or somebody else placed them there. That all benefits you when you're looking at volume. So what happens is if this person decides, I'm in, I want to do what you're doing, we say, hey, put one person on your right team, ideally a spouse, because I'll teach you in a minute how we double dip on the same volume. I'll come to that in a minute. It's a household income. It's not that your spouse is going to build the business. It's not that you're making your spouse a consultant. Not yet, anyway. Or maybe never. I don't know. We have to evaluate that as we move along. But what we're going to do is put the next 20 or 10 people, we're telling people, we put 29, the next 10 people down the team leg. And if this person puts 10 people down the team leg, and then this person says, I want to do it, and they start putting, you can imagine these people start popping in here from all of these people and the people above them, that these team legs can start to grow extremely fast. Let me take a breather. Are there any questions? I know this can be confusing. I don't know if you see any questions or if anybody sees any questions.
Yes. Hi, Patty. It's Liz. How are you?
Good, Liz.
I have a question. When I first came in on Isagenix, I was really, not by you, but encouraged to become an executive. It was really important. Now I see your strategy. So you suggest for me to get 20 people on my left side before I start to rank advance?
Well, no. First of all, you will rank advance over here. We always say become a consultant, put one here, and then build over here. If you're married, the ideal situation is put a spouse over here and start putting people over here. So it's giving up to get, right? For us, there were no bonuses. So we were literally not making really much money whatsoever because we were depending upon these cycles. Because by the way, to finish my thought, every 900 points in the order of 600 on one team, 300 on the other, or it could flip-flop where there's 300 on one side. One side of this is all left, this is all right. When the company computer sees this format, 2/3, 1/3, because 600 points is 2/3 of 900 and 300 points is 1/3 of 900, right? When the company computer sees that, the computer's set up to pay you out a cycle, which is a form of pay, and it's 1 unit of pay valued at $54. So that was where we were going to make money. But if we're not really having a whole bunch of volume on this side, then we weren't really cycling, were we? But we did fast. I was extremely motivated because I saw what we had here. But there was some desperation involved too. Remember the situation we were in. So we had two things going on, inspiration and desperation. It all worked out very good. But so to answer your question, Liz, if this is number one, and then number one brings in this number one, and let's say by the time they get their first person in, that's their number one. So this number one is a consultant. That's $100. The company will pay you. That's one of your you plus two, them plus two. And then if you enrolled this person too, and they decide to put one person here, and then maybe this is their other number two. So it's you plus your two, them plus their two. So you do have a rank advancement here, $250. Remember that?
Yeah. I get that part. But I'm just saying how many you should have. Should it be
each consultant create is another $100. And when you get 6 of those, even on just the left side, you're going to earn $750 just building this left team. So now kind of to address, I think I'm going to be able to answer your question. it was always for us. There was no manager or director, remember? So we always aced the program. So we didn't want to see people become executives. The first thing they were was an associate. They opened their account, they were able to buy a wholesale. The second thing was consultant. We always talked about that. It was one left and one right. That's what consultant is. One left, one right. And then finally for us, because there was no manager director, we're talking about it now because it's available today. But I want to teach you how we build this leg because there's urgency in this. You can't let people sit and think that they have until next week to figure out. No, if you don't open your account and let's say this person came in before you did because you wanted to think about it, they came in before you. Guess what? When this person, number one, builds their left team, it benefits you. But when they build their right team, it's above you. You don't see half or more of their business. So that's why it's important to understand the faster you can open your account, the faster you start to benefit from all that. And that's the urgency factor. The final thing is executive here. That's when you want to have 5 on your left and 5 on the right. And I think what you're asking or getting at, Liz, which you're right on, is you probably, if you put 10 on the left, the chances of you getting 5 solid consultants may not be true for you. And the key is if you can have a solid 5 consultants over here, and then with the team building the way the team starts to build. I mean, there were times that would pop in like 10 people in an hour, 20 people in an hour, because people, like all of a sudden, if I would call, I'd have a whole list of all these people. I'd call people, I'd say, listen, not call people, but I also had it in the list form. You can do it with Facebook Messenger or lists, or I was doing emails at the time. And I had the whole email list. It was the Isagenix left outside, Isagenix right outside, Isagenix left inside, the people on this side, because it was on the inside. And I wanted to communicate with my whole team. But really, if I was personally bringing in a player, nobody on the inside was going to benefit from that. I'm building the outside left leg. Everybody has 2 teams to build, one left and one right. You'd never give away enrollments, guys. If you give away enrollments, it's almost like you're making a 2-tiered comp plan, simple, simple, simple. Anybody you ever put in on the left benefits anybody you've ever put in on the left, and vice versa. Now all of a sudden you give away somebody because you think, oh, Harry, my cousin Harry, if he could make a little money and get that card with some money on it, let me make Harry, and you give him your cousin here, and then you give Harry away, you give away your enrollment to Harry on his right leg. That's not where you're ever going to build again, because you think Harry, and then maybe you give him another one down here. That one that you're giving away down here isn't as bad, but this one here, when Harry decides, well, you might as well send him some bonbons so he can watch reruns of his favorite movies because he's not doing anything. He decides to quit, and then all of a sudden you got your friend in here who is, you feel all of a sudden obligated because you put him in here, and now he's got 2 full teams to build, and you kind of left him hanging. Does that make sense? You don't want to give away enrollments. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but you definitely don't want to give away enrollments. You want to put everybody on the far outside left. I don't know, Liz, if I'm answering your question, but we're putting a lot of people down one leg because I think you want to wipe out the 2/3 responsibility of the comp plan. You want to wipe it out.
Gotcha.
You don't want
okay.
And in the process, you want to also, because you do want to be an executive, but you don't want to have to think about coming back here. Because if you do it right, if you have a team that you're building with, your heart is, man, I want to get you in, my cousin, people I love, fast, open your account fast so you can benefit from what's going on so that they can benefit from the growth of that team leg. And if you do it right, this team leg should continue to explode. And when you go to your focus leg, maybe you can put your head down and just focus. We call it a focus leg because every 300 points would cycle you, because over here you might have, remember, the volume just accumulates. You could have 20,000 points of volume. Remember, it's in point scale because we're open in different countries. So they're going to pay you in the currency of the country you live in. But if you have 20,000, 40,000, whatever points, they just wait for you to use. So what happens when you see that, every 300 points on this team would pay you out a cycle. It would just go in and take 600 from this and then take 300, the 300 that you bring in over here from this side. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, thank you, Patty.
Okay, so then what's happening is the volume starts to build, and when you come over here, you're going to build up under your spouse and start to do the same thing. You tell them, hey, put your spouse over here, or a holding tank. It could be grandma, any kind of holding tank position. You're not going to build over here right away, right? You're going to focus, if they're building a business, down this leg to help this team leg start to explode, because one of the things that gets people most excited is when they go into their back office and they see all these people that they didn't even put there, but they're benefiting. They're in their business, and they can count the volume of not only any time that they order, their first orders, reorders, anybody that they enroll, and so on and so forth. And so what happens when you do it this way, every 300 points starts to cycle you. So again, another key thing is that in the algorithms, we have bonus pools too. I'm not going to get into all of how they work, but we've got people that make, I mean, you see checks here, $100,000 in the bonus pools. What is that all about? How do we help people do that? Well, part of it is we're wiping this out. You're giving up. You're not cycling. It's based on, you should be bringing, introducing 5 new people a month is going to help you max out the bonus pools, number one. And of course, it's based on cycle increase. So what's going on is, if you're building this direction, you're not cycling much at all. But now all of a sudden you put your head down and start building over here, and you start to go from maybe 1 or 2 cycles a month building this, and now it's 5, 10, then you start to cycle. Remember, every cycle value is $54. And so that helps in the bonus pools for the executive bonus pools. So you see people hitting those for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. We've helped people hit $100,000 in the bonus pools. And it's based on this type of growth, because you're giving up to get. But you're really not anymore, because you've got all these advancement bonuses that you can collect on one side. So let me take a breather. Who has a question? I know it's a lot, and I know that this is probably way too much if you're a guest for the first time, but I want you to...
Guests are gone. I think all the guests are gone. I think it's pretty much just our team at this point, so I think it's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
And Patty, I do have a question. Can you explain at least how wonderful this comp plan is? A lot of people have done other businesses before, and maybe, like, I know myself and other businesses, it was 3 legs instead of 2 legs. You and Herb have done a great job in explaining to us, the 5 things that you look for to identify a really good compensation plan. I want people to know that this is not typical.
This is unbelievable. As a matter of fact, it's 2 teams. So I'll come back when I'm done talking about this. I'll come back and erase it and show you what we came from. We had to have 12 teams. This is 2 teams. So if I enroll this person and I enroll this person, I enroll this person, let's just say then everybody I enroll over here benefits anybody I've ever enrolled. So you're always helping your team. Then you're teaching them to build as a team. Furthermore, when you get to the max, that's what happened to us. We built over here, we had extra volume, we had 2 full teams to build. So we had to create this ourselves. So anybody that comes along and says, oh, I have 2 full teams to build, well, so do we. So we came up under Herb's position and we started to build out this way. Then we came back and flip-flopped, the volume flip-flopped, and basically where our focus was. We never stopped helping the people and working with people, but where our focus of enrollments was, the volume grew fast. And so finally we came back over here, and I want you to hang with me for a sec. We brought this to an extra at least 40,000 points a week income. We had gotten ourselves, my position, to 100 cycles a week, which is over 5,000 a week. And at that point with this, I think it was 60,000. So I'll conservatively say 40,000 a week. Understand, we had been building up under Herb's position. So the spouse, so I'll just put my spouse's name as Herb, H for Herb, Herbie. Right? So what happens is his right leg was cooked. So we decided when we had extra volume here, that every 300 points on this side would cycle my position. That's when we said, let's make this position a consultant. So, you put one on the, we probably already had put one over here, but then we started building this way off of her. Now understand, every 300 points would cycle her position because we already had a right team. But that same 300 points that cycled her position also cycled my position. God, that's huge. Now,
Wow.
our coaching client was like, what are you doing? We're building one direction. You got to become an executive. I said, listen, Bruce, does it matter? Do I have to do it fast? Do I get a bonus if I get there faster and slow? What's the story? I mean, now they put like, you get there, I think, is it 6 months to be an executive? Yeah, and then you get the 1,000 or 1,500. The point was, I didn't really care about that. That was going to happen. I said, listen, remember, we paid us for coaching. So I was like, listen, we know what we're doing. Just don't worry about it. We'll do it. We'll be back over there. But what I want you to know is, and Kathy Cooper, everybody wants to take a reentry. No, we're solidifying this team by building this team too, or making this team solid. And then what happens is you take the reentry. The reentry in this program is above. Understand, in a binary. So Denise, just to hit that point, this is actually phenomenal in not all binaries, like the binaries, some binaries put the reentry on the bottom of one of these legs. So you
Okay.
you have 2 full teams built. Understand, it puts it above itself. So this is the reentry of position above all of this. Now remember, all of this then gets pushed to one side. It takes 225,000 total points to max these out. 225,000 points in the order of, on one side, you're going to have 150,000 points. Or let's say this is 150,000 points over here. 150. And over here, 75,000 points. That equates to 225,000 total points. That's what maxes this out, so that you're cycling 250 times a week, or $13,500 a week in your bank, in your card, right? So that's what happens when you need, when you get a reentry. They put it up here above all of this volume, so all 225,000 points gets pushed to one side, and you just have now one leg to build. Can anybody that doesn't know the answer tell me how many points do you need down the left leg then in this scenario? Anybody know?
Only another 75,000 BB to max it out again.
Just 75,000 points would, because the 150,000 a week is already being met, right? All 225,000 is over here. That's how powerful this comp plan is. And it doesn't stop. Like, you can get as many reentry positions as you want, as you're willing to work. All right, so I know people have questions.
Can I tell them what reentry you guys are in?
Yeah.
You guys, they've done this. This is their fourth. They have their fourth reentry position. 13,500 a week. 13,500 a week.
Third. So we have this one, and I'm on the third.
So they're reentry, fourth position.
Fourth position.
Exactly. Right. That's amazing. I just need you all to hear how amazing that is.
So any questions? Because that's huge. So the point is you want to emphasize to people that there's urgency to build. You're building in one direction, and all of this is going to happen whether, with or without that. So, and I always say to people, listen, everybody you know is going to hear about this. They can either hear about it through you or through somebody else, right? So when you're building like this, you can come in now, or you can come in down here, and then when all these people build their right side, you don't benefit. But when they go left, you'll see it. I try to stay positive. But they're missing out on a lot of volume by week. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. Oh my God, Patty Cepeda, you are thebomb.com.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll tell you the difference here compared to what we did in our last company. just because Denise asked. We needed, like, if I had to do this, it would be like looking like this. Sorry, this isn't coming off so good, but I'm trying to hold it here. Hold on. We, come on. It looked like this. It was us and everybody we personally enrolled came in on our front line like this. And of course, they came in on our front line like this. You're getting the picture here. The board is wiggling, guys. Hold on. So you're getting the picture. So everybody we personally enrolled came in on our front line, and we would help them all. We would do calls with them and help them build their business. But if anybody ever showed up, this is called a stair-step breakaway comp plan. If anybody came on their teams, because they would personally enroll everybody, it's because they were involved in the process. It wasn't because we put somebody on their team. So there might be this person enrolled a person, or this person might have 2 people. You don't see, they're not going to see or benefit from anything else compared to, or like any of those, like matrices or any of these type of complex. This here, if we did this with Isagenix, it would just be 2 teams like this, stacking so that everybody benefited everybody. So that's why I always say the other scenario with our binary is that if people just open their account to buy a wholesale, and then you call them because you say, hey, how's your cleanse doing? How you feeling? Oh my goodness, you're down 40 pounds, hold on. And then you're in their back office. Do you know you have 14 people on your team? And they're gonna be like, what? Now they might say, what? Tell me, what does that mean? Which happens most often, but sometimes they might say, I told you I wasn't interested in the business. I said, great, I kind of got shocked myself. So how you doing on the program, right? Then the next time you talk to them, it could be 28 people. And you make another comment, and you never know because people's situations change. Now they're down 42 pounds, and they're like, wait, well, what does it mean? People are asking me. So you can see that you can kind of backdoor people in later. Here, it's so difficult to duplicate what's needed to be successful. To have, because think all these people would be on the team already in the other one. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for, Denise, but our comp plan is completely, there's nothing like Isagenix did we can't believe it, actually. The comp plan is amazing.
That's what I love. It seems like Isagenix is really incentivizing all of us to team together, and you don't see that in most companies.
Yeah, well, remember, here it is. We do that. We're teaching this. The company doesn't know the team leg and the focus leg. You shouldn't be saying major volume and minor volume, because everybody would want to be on the major volume team. That's why we decided to take away that kind of terminology. It says team leg and then focus leg, because when you go to your focus leg and focus there, every 300 points cycles you, but it becomes their team leg. So it is a team leg. But we're teaching you how to build 2 teams of people. The company is still doing one left, one right, one left, one right, which is a little bit slow for what we're attempting to do. And again, this is what we did. We grew to our #1 in commerce in 5.5 years, passing everybody that had never been done before. But we attribute it to that, the way we build, the way we teach in our team. So the rest of the world, and that's why you're seeing, and I think that's why CC and I know Liz was here, and a lot of people have come in and made their spouse a consultant, because you're seeing you +2 and them +2, because that's easier to draw than what I just drew. So when you see that, and then you hear us say, this is the dotted line, this separates the 2 teams, we're saying, hey, if that's your spouse, people are making their spouse a consultant. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fall down that one leg at a time, and then focus, and then blow it out, and then come back. Any other questions? I hope it makes sense. I know that some people are completely lost, and it's okay. You can admit it.
No, you know what it is? I know it's one of those things, Patty, you called it. Listen, I've been doing this 4 years. It took me 4 years. Well, it took me about a year and a half, I should say, a year and a half really to get it, to really get it. But it was great because I was earning money the whole way through. So it was okay that I didn't understand everything. I was earning money the whole way through. The simplest thing I can tell you is help people get started and then help them find their 2 accountability partners. What would you say, Patty? If people just did that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you got to ask people, what do they want? Do they want to make a lot of money? What do you want to do? I talk about this every time. No matter who I'm talking to, it doesn't matter if they're just interested in products. I still tell them, look, open your account because, the team is growing. You're opening your account. Other people will open their account after you, and that will benefit you. I know you're telling me you're not interested in the business end of this right now, but you're going to thank me that I told you about this. Because understand, if you don't tell them there's a business, you're not going to have a business.
Yeah.
So, yes and no. So, Cece, I'm not doing U+2. I don't like to draw this, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to make a PowerPoint. I've been telling my assistant for so long, I need the PowerPoint that looks like this, where the U+2, so this is number 2, and this is number 1 person involved, and this person, I don't know, maybe this has to be lines, and then the next person they bring in is lines over here, and then this person brings in, I don't know, lines going this way, over here. The lines are going this way. U+2, them plus their 2.
Yeah.
That's manager.
Yeah, no. I was just simply saying, even if you don't understand it, you will make money if you enroll people and help them enroll people.
Yes.
Right?
And the beautiful thing, there's a lot of upfront money right now.
Yes.
So, but I think people want the freedom. They want this because understand it's such an amazing lifestyle to have freedom, and people aren't doing this to make me money. I'm not I didn't do it to make people in my upline money. That's not, I did it to set ourselves free. And so, again, remember, people are using it sometimes just for themselves, and all of these orders are going in, so we're making money when we sleep. I don't even know how many times I cycled while we were on this Zoom call. It's ridiculous. It's thousands of times where people are, they just go in and order. Oh, and Herbie's really keen on this. What is it, $119? And you can get on for $116. And you get unlimited free shipping.
I said delivery. It is an incredible, incredible thing. I got it the day it came out.
So if you forgot to order something, you just order it tomorrow. Oh, I forgot amped. I'm going to get it tomorrow. Bia comes out. I'm going to get that. It's I just got an email about that Bia product's going to be introduced on Friday morning. Hold on, the company just texted me before I got on here. Hold on, because that's going to be huge. Okay.
Yeah, that is
big. Good news. We will have a shipping promotion for Bia October 11 through 27. 135 BV plus, so approximately $200 orders with Bia shipped free. Ice delivery customers get an instant $20 discount.
awesome.
So that's the Bia. It's going to be released this Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, listen, Patty, I'm so grateful for you. We did not expect to have you for this long. If there are any final questions anybody has, please let's ask them, and then I want to get Patty back to her family. Any final questions anybody wants to ask before we hop off? All right, so here's what I'd love to do then. I'm going to stop the recording.